South Asia is a place where you can hardly find any privately owned terrestrial television network. I know this is surprising, considering most countries at least have one privately owned terrestrial network, including nearby countries like Thailand and the Philippines. Sri Lanka has several private terrestrial channels according to my researches. However, it's still kinda shocking that India, a country with over 1 billion people, only has one terrestrial television network, which is the state-owned Doordarshan. So that's why in India, free-to-air television means a whole new thing. In Indian and Pakistani television, where only state-owned networks have the authority to broadcast on terrestrial, or over-the-air if you're American, free-to-air, which generally refers to terrestrial television or radio, can mean any channel regardless if it's cable or terrestrial that does not require you to pay to watch, as opposed to general paid channels like MTV, Disney Channel, or the USA Network. Now let's talk about the country where I happen to come from, Bangladesh. Compared to India, Bangladesh is much more smaller in terms of both area and population. It is a fascinating country because like Malaysia and Indonesia, it is cut off from the mainstream Muslim world in terms of land. Like India and Pakistan, Bangladesh is one of those countries where only state-owned networks can broadcast on terrestrial. All private networks broadcast exclusively on satellite and cable, which automatically gives them the ability to broadcast nationwide, if not worldwide. But did you know that Bangladesh once had a privately owned terrestrial network which revolutionized the local television market? This is a story of Ekushey Television. A.S. Mahmood and Britain Simon Dring had plans for establishing Ekushey Television in the late 1990s, which would be set as Bangladesh's first privately owned terrestrial television network, and the first of its kind in South Asia. This is a great achievement, as bigger countries like India and Pakistan didn't have a private terrestrial network back then, and even today. Sure, Pakistan had STN, but that was semi-state owned, meaning the government of Pakistan owned half of the network. So technically it doesn't really count. After getting a 15-year license in 1999, Ekushey Television began official transmissions on April 14, 2000. Even if there were privately owned channels in Bangladesh like ATN Bangla and Channel I back in the day, they were satellite and cable channels like HBO and Sky One, and only people with satellite or cable TV had access to those channels, in addition to a shit ton of Indian channels, accounting up to like the majority of foreign channels available in Bangladesh. If you have terrestrial TV in Bangladesh, you're essentially fucked, since state-owned BTV is the only network to watch. Even today it's like this. Ekushey Television truly ended the nearly 4 decades of Bangladesh television's monopoly, and quickly gained widespread popularity throughout Bangladesh. And even helped the audience to avoid watching Indian channels all day and embrace local programs, such as Bandhon, Mukto Khabor, Desh Jure, Ekushey Dupur, Montu Miar Obhijan, and many more. However, it gained controversy from the Bangladesh Nationalist Party and its supporters. In March 2002, the High Court of Bangladesh declared that Ekushey Television's license to broadcast was quote-unquote illegal. They most probably think that since ETV's license to broadcast was given by the Awami League government, both the Awami League, which is the leading party of Bangladesh today, and the BNP, the main opposition, don't get along with each other. Ekushey Television, despite being considered as progressive and liberal and more trustworthy compared to Bangladesh television, was accused of being biased towards the BNP, which took office after the 2001 election, ousting the Awami League, which took office again since 2009. Later, the Supreme Court, which happened to be the last chance for Ekushey to remain on the air, supported the High Court's declaration, and on August 29, 2002, Ekushey Television was shut down.
আমরা গভীর দুঃখের সঙ্গে আমাদের নিয়মিত সম্প্রচার কার্যক্রম বন্ধ করে দিতে বাধ্য হচ্ছি।
This was a huge downgrade for the Bangladeshi television industry. What was once known to be a window to the outside world for many Bangladeshis had to say goodbye. Bangladesh television immediately regained its monopoly on local terrestrial television, and no Bangladeshi private network dared to enter the terrestrial world ever since. However, the number of local satellite and cable channels began to boom, with the launch of NTV in 2003, RTV in Boishakhi in 2005, and Channel 1 in Banglavision in 2006. Note: Channel 1 shut down in 2010. Ekushey Television did return to the air in 2007, but only as a satellite and cable channel. Today, there are 38 local television channels in the country, with just 2 state-owned channels broadcasting on terrestrial. One of the most significant ones is Ekushey, which left a huge legacy on the Bangladeshi television industry.